Hey friends, Pastor Michael from Organic Church. We're excited for another season of growing together. We'd love to have you join us on Sunday mornings at 10 or Wednesday evenings at 7 for friends, family, and a whole lot of Jesus.
Is it the fish? I can't remember where he makes God want to spew because they're just lukewarm and.
Is her mic on?
She's not talking into it.
She don't have her headphones on. That's what he's talking about over here.
My mind's someplace else.
Why we know where your mind is at. You shouldn't be thinking about that.
Well, at church.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because it reminds me of the days that we're living now.
Yes.
The lukewarm churches that want to pacify and make everybody happy.
Yep.
Well, you're not going to make everybody happy.
No, but they bend the rules. They bend the Bible to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
You know, they're acceptive of everything.
Yeah, we got to allow everybody to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And not everybody's satisfied. You're never going to satisfy everybody.
Do you want to introduce someone special that's here?
Yeah, we have a special guest on the podcast today. My son Rich. So we're going to get a little insight from a listener.
Yeah,
and see, maybe we'll learn something that we didn't know. Maybe we can make ourselves better.
Thought you knew everything, Roger.
What's that?
Thought you knew everything. Oh wait, no, that's not what your shirt says.
No,
your shirt
says it's always my fault.
Yeah, wow.
one of the slogans.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Well, go for it.
Let's dive in.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So, Rich,
tell us a little bit about yourself.
From Yerkesville, obviously. I spent 27 years in the military. Been all over the world. I live in Texas now, where the weather's beautiful.
not like this.
Not like this. This is crazy.
Yep.
No, he was complaining this morning or yesterday morning. It's cold.
It has been cold in the morning.
It was like 50 some odd degrees.
Well,
it doesn't get 50 where I live.
Now, are you in a part of Texas where you have to watch how much water you use?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in like South Central Texas.
Yeah.
So, you guys heard about the floods in Uvalde, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like an hour from there.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I've always thought that has to be like, what, they tell you how much water you can use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your watering day, depending on if the last digit of your address is a 1, Monday's your day, and then all the way to whatever.
Yeah, that would be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't watered my grass. It's dead.
Ours is too.
He just didn't water because he didn't want to mow it.
I have somebody to do that for me.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Smart. That is smart.
I know a guy.
You know, guy?
I do.
So what made you stay in Texas, or are you not staying in Texas? Like, how long have you been in Texas?
How do I want? There's the whole backstory. So I ended up in Tennessee, where I ended up retiring, and we were going to stay there. And my wife works for the VA, so she was job searching. We ended up in Texas. I'm not leaving. She wants to leave. I'm not leaving.
You left.
He's lived in Texas. Actually, lived in Texas quite a few years.
Okay.
Because he was
a couple of times.
He was stationed in Fort Hood for
8 years.
8 years. Ooh. Then he moves to Washington. And then from Washington back to.
No, I went to Korea.
Oh yeah, I went to Korea.
Okay, so let's start from when you graduated high school.
Yes.
What happened after you graduated high school?
I joined the Air Force.
Okay. And then what?
And I went
to base.
In the Air Force, I went to Guam, stationed in California. Then I got out. I lived in Houston for a little bit. Then I came back home, was home for about 4 years. Then I joined the Army and stayed gone after that.
Okay. Do you like staying gone from this area?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If they didn't live here, I wouldn't
Well, yeah.
never come back.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's amazing the things that you see once you get outside of this community.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, you forgot Germany.
Oh yeah, Germany.
was that the time that you and Linda
Yeah.
went? Is that who you went and visited?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're really booming over there, Sid.
Like loud?
Yeah. I don't know. Just a little
Great.
bit. At least in my ears, anyway.
Well, hold on.
You're probably hearing her through mine.
Is it booming for everyone? Yeah. Okay. Let me see.
I don't know.
You
what the
keep
volume
talking.
level's supposed to be, so.
Well,
You guys keep
sounds all right to
talking.
me.
I think I'm red. Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah.
yeah, that's better.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Well, no wonder you were
You
allowed to.
don't have to shout. You know?
Yeah.
Thing was slid clear up to the top.
Who's orange? Well, I was gonna say someone who's orange. It was clear up top too, but
That's his.
that was
Or
Michael.
Michael's.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm sure you enjoy when he is home.
Yeah, but not he's never here long enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can only do about 7 days.
Yeah, he can't stand me any more than 7 days.
That's kind of like me at the ocean. I can only
Yeah.
do 3 or 4 days. I'm ready to go home.
That's exactly how Chase is too, and he loves it. Like he loves the ocean, but by day 5, he's like, "I'm ready to be home," and I'm like, "Ah." Oh.
Mom listen to this?
No.
Yeah, I can only stand about a week. I love Linda, but she's a lot.
Now wait, is that mom to him?
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's what I thought. But when he said Linda, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay,
I wanted to make sure everybody in the room knew
Sure.
who I was talking about.
I knew who he was going to say it right off the get go. But no, it's he's what do I want to say? Growing up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got
got-
some gray hair.
Got the same amount of gray hair in my
Yeah.
beard as you, so
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the genes. It's your DNA.
that's what I was about to say.
hey, as long as I got good hair, I'm
Well, you got
good.
you got hair.
Yeah, I think you'll be good based on what Roger has. So since you do listen, could I consider you a Christian then?
that's complicated
Yeah.
for me. So I was raised in this church
Yes.
back when Florence was here.
Uh-huh.
Then, join the military and you go other places, and then you go to war
Yep.
and you kind of rethink your life.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you see all those things and you're like, is there, whether you're Muslim, Jewish,
Yeah.
whatever your faith is there somebody who's looking out for you, letting all these people die?
Right. Like a higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's complicated for me because of the things that I've seen.
That is completely understandable. I can see that.
Am I a believer in something? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick, do you have anything to piggyback from that? Nick's our history buff, which I'm sure you know if you listen to a few episodes.
Yeah. So yeah, with your military service, you go around the world and like you said, you've seen all different kinds of people. You've witnessed. I'm going to guess that you've witnessed violence. You destruction, all of those things. I'm often my theater of expertise is the Civil War, which was a very religious time in our country, and a lot of the men who fought in that war were very religious. And for some purposes, they fought because they not only fought for their political beliefs, but they fought for their religious beliefs as well. They kind of tied in together. And a lot of these men fought going into war as much as they could. That's the last thing. As being Christian people, that's the last thing that they wanted to see happen. But a lot of these men, of course, are caught up in that. And I've learned there's just a couple things that would sustain those men through those 4 years. And the main thing often was their religion, that they felt that they were doing their duty as they saw it to God. And they had to lean on that, because without that, you had very few people who, if there wasn't certain people that had those beliefs, I mean, as terrible as it was already, you had, 700,000 casualties over 4 years. So 700,000 Americans. And you think if there wasn't these Christian reasonable people that held these strong beliefs, how much more terrible would it have been? It would have just been complete bedlam, and I think that we would have fought indefinitely, because there would have been no Christian people to say, hey, we can't, war is war, but we can't let this thing slip into this period of, bushwhacking and just complete murder and just killing people at random. We can't allow ourselves to fall into that. And I think, I can see God's hand in it as I've studied it over the years, that, as you said, it makes you question why God would put people through that, why so many people have to die, why we have to experience all these things. But I think sometimes for me, it always comes back to, the sin of the earth and what has been created. Human beings have created a lot of the problems that we have. And then when you also realize that, yes, the prince of this earth, Satan, he is in control of this world right now. He has control of it. Now, the final outcome, he's not going to have control of that. But we can see, if you dig deep enough, you start to move away from this idea that, for me, it's just like this thing with Charlie Kirk today. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, there's a man who claimed to be a Christian that spoke about God openly all the time, that loved God, would argue for him, fight for him. And he lost his life today in doing that. Yeah. But we've seen that from the beginning. I mean, Jesus loses his life because of that and fulfills his purpose. Yeah. So violence alone, I don't think we can ever sit back and just say, well, if God is real, then all these bad things wouldn't happen. I don't believe in that, because I have been able to, in my experiences, I have come to the conclusion that there is this battle that we can't see spiritually between God and Satan. And we're all caught up in it. And we all have a decision to make about that. And yes, sometimes that places us in bad situations and violent situations where people do lose their lives. And it's unfair, and it's hard to understand it. But I don't think that, I think when we think of that simple idea that, well, we're going to question everything because the world's not perfect, I think at that point, we're missing the point, is that, yes, there is, in this world, there is that confrontation between good and evil, between God and Satan. Yeah. And it's going to continue. We're all going to be caught up in it until the time comes that Jesus decides to come back and take it. All right. But the sad thing is, we have the key to the whole thing. Yeah. Jesus and the Bible, everything that Jesus said, he gave us the key to peace, to happiness, to the point where we don't have to kill each other. Mm-hmm. The problem is, as humans, we can't figure it out. None of us can. The smallest sin can create such a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. But when we're talking about the bigger governments get, the bigger the population gets, all of those things, all this sin has just created this just constant violence, chaos, in our world, that is only going to be solved if every single person on the earth can sit down and say, I'm a Christian. and I believe in Jesus Christ, and I want to follow what he says. I don't want to follow my own selfish motives. I don't want to be in power. I don't want to be in control. I don't want to take what they have. All of those things. Until every single person in this world can do that all at the same time, it's never going to happen. But of course, prophecy itself tells us that's not going to happen.
Right.
It's just not. So I can see how somebody like you, everything that you've seen, you can question all those things, and I think you have every right to. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just a journey, no matter what your situation is, where you come from, what you've experienced. That you find Jesus Christ, and that you try to live by what he teaches as much as possible, because it may be the only thing that does make. The older I get, it's the only thing that makes sense. Everything else just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. If you look at it. If you look at everything else in the world, they don't make sense. You can't even measure it. But everything that, if you really put it in your heart, everything that Jesus Christ says and how he expects you to live, it makes sense because you can feel it. The more that you read the word and you're into it, you can feel it within yourself. And that's a big thing, is people always want to be like, well, prove to me, that God is real. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They want you to do something physical. Mm-hmm. They want you to be able to, well, why can't you stop that war if you say Christ is real? Well, you're missing the point. The point is within you. You have to take what Christ says and put it within yourself. If you don't do that, there's no chance. There's just no chance. And a lot of us Christians, we're going to go to our grave still in an imperfect world.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's just the way it is. But we won't be imperfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, the second that we die, we'll be perfect. Yeah, we'll be relieved from all of that.
Thank goodness for that.
Mm-hmm. And really, that's just the way it is. Yeah. But none of us are saved from the trials of this world, and we're not promised that we'll be saved from the trials of this world.
Right.
None of us are. Unfortunately, some of us have to see worse than others. Yeah. And a lot of times, again, studying the Civil War. A lot of those boys, they were like 18 years old. Oh, they worked on their parents' farm. They never traveled any more than 10 miles from their home. They didn't know. They had all these political people stirring them up, telling them what they should believe. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them fought for that simple fact that, well, my buddy's going. If I don't go,
I'm going to look.
I'm going to look like a coward. Mm-hmm. So I have to go.
Yeah.
Or it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to try to save the country, or it's the right thing to fight for my state and my family and for my land and everything that I know. And it's for a lot of those simple things that, young men go to war and get killed. But it's because the people that we give credit as being in power, they're not exercising Christian principle. They may say they are.
Right.
They may even say that they're standing up for Christian principles. But at the end of the day, if they're asked to make a choice between, okay, am I going to follow what Jesus Christ says, or am I going to do what is in the benefit
of me,
of not only myself, but the so-called country and, for power so that we can continue to have the upper hand, it's going to go wrong every time. And it has. I mean, that's the proof of history. It's never changed. Doesn't matter how the technology changes.
Yeah.
You can kill people any which way you want to. We've been doing it since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is, not enough people get it. That's why it doesn't change. So the only thing that you can change is what's in your heart, who you decide to follow. Yes, I'm a patriot. I believe in America. I love America. But God comes first. Mm-hmm. He always will. Because, again, in the end, that's the only thing that's going to make me perfect. That's it.
And what is it? God and country.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I believe you have to love your country. You have to. Because, I mean, we are fortunate that we can...
we can sit right here.
We can worship the way that we want to,
Yeah.
And we're not going to, well, we're not going to get in prison for it.
Or shot.
But again, there's always, and today is just a perfect example of that. As you have a man today who was killed, let's face it, for his Christian beliefs, because that's what he was trying to push forward.
Yep.
And he was never trying to criticize people so much as he was just getting people to try to understand themselves and try to get them to focus on, okay, forget about how you see yourself. How does God see you? How does Christ see you? That's what he was trying to get people to focus more on, is forget what the world is trying to tell you to be. Forget what the world is trying to make you out to be. Your first, priority should be, how does Christ see you? And if you look in the mirror and you can't see that, if you don't see what Christ in you, you're going to have problems. You just are. And to me, that was a really long answer. I know, but I think that's important, is to explain all that, because
Land a plane, Nick.
Well, I'm sorry, but
No, it's just-
you can't, because
No,
this is the thing that has continued
Yeah,
to happen
that's
since
true.
the beginning of time.
Yep.
yeah.
Even when the Roman soldiers grabbed Jesus
Yep.
and took him back to be crucified, it's been the same thing.
Yeah.
It's been happening ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, things will
We don't get
change, and technology changes, but at the end of
No.
the day, like, these societies
The
don't
intent
change.
is the same.
Yeah.
The intent is always the same.
And I think
And then it's guys like him
that have
that have to experience
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah. And I think since he does give us free will to make all of our decisions, which most of the time are sin of some sort, whether that's small or large, I think that does lead to a lot of these horrific events and horrific wars and, horrific situations that you've probably been in. But eventually he does make it come all for good. Like, he gave you that free will to go do whatever, but whatever, endures years later, he's trying to, like, almost rebuild what he was trying to make happen the whole time anyhow. But instead, we're like, oh, well, we're just going to go sin and do this. And he's like, come back this way. I'm trying to do this, and
Well, and God can speak through other people. Like he spoke through Abraham Lincoln when God said, with malice toward none and charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right. You have a man who is, again, like re-explaining their true purpose of what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And we catch it for a while when it sounds good for a while, and it's but then we forget about it.
Yeah.
And we do it all over again. And again, it's usually our young people who get caught up in these things. And that's my biggest fear moving forward with everything that's happening now, is you have a very unsuspecting youth that is growing up in a world of YouTube and just being totally, just blindsided by social media. A lot of them are just absolutely clueless. And they're going to be the ones that have to pay the price.
Most of them do not know how to carry on a normal conversation.
No.
Everything is done through the phone, technology. And it's easy to hide behind this and bully somebody or be nasty.
Is that better?
Can't hear me. No, you can't. I don't like to talk on my mic. But I mean, it's scary what our next leaders are going to be.
Can't be any worse.
No, and that's the thing,
True.
and that is the point, and that's a great point. It's okay. So if you're always going to that ballot box, thinking that that next politician is going to solve everything in your life and is going to be the answer to, yes, we have a duty as Americans to do that, and it probably is the best form of government on the earth. But still, at the end of the day, it's not gonna save you.
Yeah.
You still have to have Jesus Christ, or everything else is. Because it's the only thing you can take with you.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you can take with you.
And like Michael said before, hey, if I'm wrong, then I'm in a box, underground, dead. But man, if I'm right,
Yeah.
and look at all these, look how I will endure afterlife.
Yeah. And so, you're in a situation where you believe in something, but you're not sure. I'm not saying, I'm not doubt. I don't want to put words in your mouth and say doubt, but having that relationship with him personally, if you've done it, if you've truly have it in your heart and you're truly trying to exercise it on a daily basis, I've never seen it hurt anybody.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody not benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, you can go to a bad church. You can get around, let's face it, you could get around bad Christians that will lead you down the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Mm-mm.
It starts with your own personal relationship with Jesus Christ and knowing who he is and standing firm in it. Despite being a sinner, you're never going to be perfect. And that's not the question. It's never the question of, because Christians can get a bad rap. Oh, y'all think you're perfect. Well, no. Well, maybe some of them do, but that's the wrong attitude to have. Those can be the hurtful Christians that you shouldn't be around. Mm. It's that personal relationship with him that you carry it with you every single day, no matter what you're doing, no matter what situation you're in. And that's where you see yourself start to grow. That's where you see yourself rising above things that you never imagined you could do or withstand. That's when you start to really stand firm in your principles instead of just, going from, blue to red to blue, depending on, I like the way he looks, or, I like the way he talks, or, any of those things. I've seen people go from Republican to Democrat and back. Mm-hmm. You can do all that stuff with politics, but I think if you really focus on having a personal relationship with him, you won't waffle in it. You won't go back and forth. I think we can all be honest and say, we don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand. Mm-mm. I don't understand this world we live in. I truly don't. And it makes you wonder sometimes, like, where does it end? Yeah. Where is the end point? Is it going to go on for another 1,000 years, another 2,000 years? We don't know.
And we're not supposed to know.
We're not supposed to know. But the thing is, though, is you see that you build your life, and like I said, you'll see yourself going in a direction you never thought was possible for yourself, and along the way, you're getting other people to do that same thing. Mm-hmm. So, true Christians build people up, and they spread that seed as much as possible, mm-hmm. and that's what you leave behind. Yep. And hopefully, you get enough people, because in the end, that's what I believe it's all about. Because there is this war going on that we can't see, that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. And as human beings, God loves us. That's why Satan hates us so much, because he loves us so much. So that's why Satan makes this world as bad as he does, and we help him out every time we sin. Mm-hmm. But we've been doing that since the beginning of time. Yep. You can't blame the world for all the problems when you look at yourself and say, well, I did that yesterday. Probably wasn't the best move. Yeah. Hurt that person over there, or took a shortcut over here, or, you can't point the finger at God himself. No. When you're not helping the cause. Mm-mm. You're always going to fall short. Yep. But when you're in the majority, following God's word, and you truly believe that he is your Lord and Savior, then your life, it doesn't matter what happens to you, I think. Yeah. You always come out with a greater understanding in the end that, he is in control of all things, even if you can look at the outside world and say, wow, this is just a complete disaster. Mm-hmm. But that's not what it's about.
I agree with everything that was said, and I don't question anybody's faith, but shots fired in anger, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's scary.
It is, and that's part of your. And let's face it, that's part of your duty.
Yeah,
shots fired in anger, you fire back. That's what you've been trained to do. And you can look at that right there and be like, okay, so how can we be a Christian society? Right. If we, but then again, you can look at the Bible, and God has had his people, and God has had his people go to war. War has always been a part of God's hand, so to speak. So it is confusing. It is something that, I can't say anything. Like I said, I've studied the Civil War my entire life, but I can never say, well, I understood what that kid went through. No, I don't. I don't care how many books I read about or how many accounts I read that came from the mouth of those soldiers themselves.
You have
Still can't ever understand it.
You have to experience it yourself.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. So I get that. I get how that itself would make you question like everything, because you know, you shouldn't. Nobody should ever be placed in that situation. But it is a part of our sinful world that it takes place. But again, to me, at the end of the day, sin is sin, and we're all placed in these positions that we might not even realize. That's the thing. Like you can look at that and you can see it black and white. Like it's wrong to have shots fired in anger. It's just wrong. That's very clear.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of sins in our everyday nature we don't even think about, and how damaging they can be. So I think it all hurts God's kingdom in one way or the other. But yeah, I don't know. I guess just thinking about what you're saying, it's hard for you to believe that God's will is in control, because you have these. You've seen what you've seen, and
you have people interceding.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I spent almost 4 years total. And I had a friend whose helicopter got shot down. Right? So how do I explain that to his kids? Because we were close, you know? Or how do I explain it to his wife? Even though it's not my job, they're going to want to know exactly what happened.
Right.
Right? And the guy who shows up at your house to tell you, you know, I'm sorry to inform you, may not have all the details. They just get a letter saying, hey, Soldier Smith, you know, was killed. Right? And they don't give any details.
No.
And that's not a good job to have either.
No, I'm sure that's very tough.
And
you may never get the answers. You know, there's a lot of people who never get the answers that they want for something terrible that has happened in their life.
I don't know. It's odd.
Yeah.
Just because you spend so much time with somebody telling you this is not necessarily right or wrong, but this is how we are going to approach this situation. Well, we approached that situation for 20 years and solved absolutely nothing. Well, so that makes me think, why did I go there?
Yeah.
You know, we went there.
Let me ask
some
you
people
this.
died.
So how did you get into the military in the first place? Let's go back to the beginning and think about when you were either deciding after school you were going to go do something or you were going to join the military.
Can I tell the story?
Go ahead. I don't care.
Can I ask what year did you graduate high school?
1988.
Okay. So shortly before my dad. Do you know my dad? Steve Mackey?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my dad.
I mean, we're not friends, but yes, I know who he is.
Okay. I figured because you both grew up here. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So when I was like 12, we had an interaction that wasn't positive. And at that moment, I decided that as soon as I could, I was getting out of town. I mean, I don't think it was anybody's fault, 50-50, because I was, preteen and sassy and
Headstrong, yeah.
sassy, so then matter of fact, they had to sign a paper for me to join the Air Force because I wasn't 18 yet. So the recruiter came to the house, sit down on the couch, explained everything to them. I don't think they were happy about that decision, but all in all, it ended up working out for, I don't want to say for me because I don't want to sound selfish, but that incident put me in the situation that I'm in now, which
it formed
is
who you are. Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent situation. I can't complain about it. But yeah, and then when I came back, I like, okay, this is kind of cool, and then it wasn't cool anymore, so I had to go again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but okay, so when you enlisted, was that Desert Storm time or not quite yet? Okay.
Yes.
And then did you retire?
Yes, I've been retired about 10 years now.
Okay. So for the whole time that you served, there wasn't a lot of, like you said, for 20 years we did this for what? Am I wrong in thinking that there wasn't a lot of things that were successful as far as
None of them were
the agenda, the agenda that we were trying to push? And I don't blame you for thinking I've dealt with all this, and I, mentally, physically, spiritually, I'm sure, and for what? Just, am I wrong in thinking that we didn't have too many advancements?
You look at the problems going now in the Middle East, so nothing has changed.
Yeah,
I mean, so
exactly.
Yes, you could take that viewpoint that in the big picture, what has it all been for? Now, that doesn't mean that at the moment it didn't have some immediate effects to perhaps, save us from this, save us from that, have, certain benefits, things that we felt we had to do at the time. But yeah, you can, in the big picture, you can go, wow, we're still sending guys over there.
Yeah.
All because, this small part of the world just, again, since biblical times, has not been able to figure it out.
And there are a lot of guys I know who, once they got out of the military, they didn't adjust well. And then when Russia invaded Ukraine, they all packed up their stuff to go fight because that's all they know.
Because they're more, actually get to the point where they're more comfortable in that environment than they are peaceably at home.
Yeah. And it's, I know a lot of guys who drink a lot, and I know a lot of guys who are on, hard drugs.
Yeah.
Just because it's not hard to deal with, but it's hard to manage as far as going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm on so many medications, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just so I can sleep.
Yeah.
And not have flashback nightmares, wake up sweaty, cold, all those things that you see in movies, those are all real. Those are all real.
Even like adjusting to the civilian life again. I think my brother-in-law, he served in Kuwait and Iraq and Afghanistan. He's my age, so he's 28. But I think he did 4 tours. Within like 6 years or something. Like he saw a lot, and he did like the filming, like video, videography, and but even watching him, and of course he came home right before COVID hit, and then COVID hits, and like it just turmoil, and it almost, I think it formed something in him, like germophobic, and I'm like, I don't know, like the brothers joke like, oh, what did he see over there? I'm like, that's not funny though, because it's something that he's actually struggling with, like, and I don't know if it just formed over there but he was having a hard time, even adjusting in general. And then, the couple times that he came back for like 8-9 months, but then once COVID hit, it was like a whole different person almost. I don't know. Yeah.
That happens to a lot of us. Yeah. It's more mental than physical for most people.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody has trouble sleeping afterwards. I talk to a lot of my friends, and those are things we talk about because we actually care about one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you form very, very strong bonds with individuals in a situation like that.
Imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
No, because you don't know. We had no idea. I was in a building that blew up. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much training can prepare you for, I'm sure,
Well, we trained a lot, especially when we found out we were going to a specific area and what the geopolitical outlook of that area was at the time, because that's I don't understand why it's all political. The people in the Middle East, just look at Gaza, for example, right? They've been fighting for that tiny piece of land forever, but nothing gets solved between the two. Like, you can't just split it up. I'll take this half, you take that half.
No.
No,
You know?
want it all or nothing.
Well, I mean, you think, though, throughout history, I mean, Vietnam is the nearest example, that we should know better than to try and fight farmers with pitchforks, because we're not going to win.
Yeah.
That's what the British did. They just kept saying, you know, we're going to fight farmers with pitchforks. See what happened.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And even in the Middle Ages, all the Crusades, all that stuff, right, was fought in the name of God,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, that's not what he's teaching. You know?
Not teaching war,
Yeah.
teaching peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've said many times on this podcast that what Jesus brought to the world at the time, people don't realize this now because everybody is used to this idea of kindness and love and sharing and all these things. Before Jesus came, people did not have those ideas. The world was a very cruel, hard, dark place where love and those types of things were not a universal part of how people lived. It just wasn't. And I think that's the true purpose of it all is, Jesus has given us this new idea of how to live and how to treat each other and how to treat the world that his Father had created. And again, it's all there for us to follow, but we can't do it. We can't do it. I mean, a lot of us can. You know, I would love to know the actual number of people in the world right now that are saved. But I'm going to guess that we're in the minority.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. So as long as that continues, we're going to have situations like he's been placed in.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. So it's, again, you know, and I think sometimes, like people in your situation, you'll look at, you know, a Christian and think, well, they have a whimsy idea of the world. Like they have this idea of the world that it's, you know, it's
Rainbows, unicorns,
Yeah.
butterflies.
and you can look at it and say, well, but you've never experienced what I've experienced. And in some ways you might be right about that there are Christians that have a very whimsy view of the world. And of course there, you know, could be a lot of people who have not fully come to Jesus yet that think that, oh, well, you know, it's this whimsy idea that just, it's not realistic for the world that we live in. And in that, it's like, you're right. It's not realistic for the world that we live in, for you to live in this idea of sunshine and rainbows all the time and thinking that God is going to take care of everything and God is going to bring me through this. And again, I don't think there's anything in the Bible that tells us that we are not going to experience hardship. If you truly read the Bible, it doesn't always give you this rosy outlook on life.
I'll give you all the trials and tribulations of things that you could go through or you're going to go through.
I mean, we
Job,
did the episode on all the apostles and how the outcome, you know, how they were killed and all the violent ways that they were killed for what they believed in. But again, I think that's missing. I think that's missing the point. And it's a hard, like I said, there's no way that I could possibly tell you, like, well, whatever you've experienced is, you just got to give it to God. And then me for me not to understand why he just can't do that. That's not being That's not being Christian.
No, it's not being understanding.
No, it's just not.
Christian,
because
you have to be understanding of what other people have gone through, or what other people see, because you're not there. You're not in their shoes.
Yeah. But what I would say as a Christian is you do not have to be. You survived what you have survived, and you've done it however you've managed to with your life up to this point. But you always have. You don't have to. It's kind of don't let it define you type of thing. But you have to make that decision of, okay, how am I going to carry all the things that I've experienced? Am I going to carry it myself for the rest of my life? Am I going to let God try to carry it for me? Am I going to look to God and to Jesus to try to say, yes, I'm going to lay down my burdens with him? And if you have to go to the cross every single day, you have to get in that habit of doing those things. I've experienced much lighter things than you in life. But when I was 12, 13, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had the picture-perfect childhood up to that point, like the Wonder Years, all that kind of thing. That was my childhood. Everything was perfect. Everything was great. And my world was shattered in an instant when my mom got sick, because all of a sudden I'm 13 years old. I got to learn how to do my own laundry. I got to learn how to make my own meals. I spent a lot of lonely time, because my mom was, we were very close. So I relied on her for everything. And all of a sudden she was too sick to do all those things. And my dad had to work. He had to keep going. So he didn't really have a lot of time to sit down and try to make you feel better or make you feel secure. He had to keep being a man and doing what he was supposed to do. So I had to grow up fast and figure things out quicker than a lot of my friends in high school who were able to just run out on a Saturday night and feel good and get into trouble and not worry about nothing. And I was lucky enough that I was brought up to love Christ, and that for whatever reason, I was immediately able to start leaning on that. And it didn't solve a lot of my problems, but I think it kept me centered. Yeah, I could go a little to the right, a little to the left, but ultimately it kept me centered. It kept my strength up when I didn't have it. As a boy who's only 13, who doesn't understand anything, there was just that inner strength that I was able to gain from that carried it for me. I didn't have to carry it all the time. And so I've been through a lot of things like that I didn't understand at the time. And that, I've got angry at God plenty. Mm-hmm. Him and I have had some pretty angry conversations. But to me, I think God is very happy still if we talk to him in anger, because we're still talking to him.
Right.
It's like being mad at your father. For whatever you two went through that had you make that decision to go into the military. Well, that's the course that your life took because of that.
Right.
But it's not. But that's obviously not your true relationship with each other. And it's the same thing with God. Like, you can be mad at God as much as you want to be mad at him.
Yeah. And
I think he's okay with that, because you're still speaking to him. You're still, at the end of the day, even if you're angry, you're still trusting him that whether it's with your last breath, your life ends with him. Your life will carry on from this sinful world that we live in, where you don't understand anything, to a place where everything will be understood and you will have that peace. But you can't carry around the burdens that you have. The way I've always looked at it is you can't put everything you have on your shoulders. There's no possible way you can carry that. And if you do that every single day, life is just going to continue to beat you up. It's just going to continue to drag you down. So that's what I see. Like I said, your life took a trajectory much like mine, but in a completely different circumstance. But sometimes you feel like your life has led you. You didn't lead your life. Like, because of circumstance, you've ended up where you are. And some of it has been unfair to you. But through all that, I think when your center is God, you come to understand it. You come to understand the burden. And in many ways, it makes you a much stronger person. And it makes you this person that can go to other people that have shared the same experiences and hopefully help them and get them on the right path. Because you don't want to live the rest of your life feeling that way. It's just, I think that's a burden that you just can't carry by yourself. You just can't. And I think a lot of people that you do have to give it up to God. And that's just, like I said, what you experience and what I experience is orange and apples. But at the end of the day, we can all say that I think people at the end of the day, I don't want to use the word selfish, but you kind of are, because it don't matter if you forgot to put the trash out,
Kimball.
and now you got to sit on it for another week. That's your problem.
Right.
And it's going to make you mad. It's going to make you frustrated.
Yeah.
Where somebody else has a terminal illness.
Yeah.
But that don't mean your problems are any less because you're fortunate than somebody else.
Yeah. I was going to piggyback kind of on my, the way you're looking at, like, is there a higher up? Why are all these things happening? And growing up, my mom, I think I was 5 or 6, like you said, cookie cutter family from what I can remember, and family of 4, this and that. And my mom, she gets manic and gets diagnosed with bipolar. Like, took months for them to figure it out. Like, is she on drugs? What the heck's going on? Like, my dad had people calling him as he's at work because there's no cell phones at the time, and actually, he might have been working with Jarvie at the time. I don't know. Hey, Angie's going 102 miles an hour down the road with Sid and Shy in the back, and just all this stuff. And I mean, knock on wood, every September, every year, we get an episode of some sort. Now, it's gotten a little better since the years have been on. I guess with bipolar and menopause, there's something correlated. I don't know. So it's gotten a little better. So hopefully it won't, like, we didn't have anything last year. But, through all these years, I'm like, but why? But what? Because like you said, grew up in a church and was, I don't know, I think I was a half a block away. So we would walk there on Wednesdays and then Sundays. And I mean, we had youth group, all these things. But at the back of my head, I'm just like, but why can't I have a normal relationship with my mom? I see all these other people. I have this stepmom who, I mean, she has a strong personality and I love her to death now, but it was so hard to accept her as that because, number one, that strong personality. Number two, I had other people, hey, yeah, she's not nice. And, just people talking. It was hard. There wasn't a normal relationship anywhere, and nothing was being, mirrored for me to know what a mom should do. And now I'm like, I think, why couldn't I have just had that normal, almost like Nick, like everything was good. And then all of a sudden, hey, it just gets stripped away from you. And
well, because to be clear too, because then, I was, the religious background that I had and the relationship I was forming with Jesus was keeping me strong most of the time, but I still, because of what had happened, I was still making mistakes and starting to things that are happening to me that I couldn't control. And, and you always think like, if that wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't have done those things. Yeah. Like, so I'll think like, so God, I believe in you. And so why did you even let this happen in the first place for my life have to go down this trajectory that was to me unnecessary?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not our plan.
Right. And it's like you said, it's our selfish desires. Like I just look at my mom's life and I'm like, I hate to say it's a waste because it's not, but from who she was from 1996 to 2002, 2003, completely different than who she is now, because the medications that work with her and keep her, stable, that is not who she was, and it's just like, first off, why couldn't I have gotten to know that person? Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, now looking at it as a mom, I'm like, I didn't have that normal relationship with my mom. However, I can give that to Cooper, like it won't be mother-daughter, but it'll be mother and son. And I think I asked someone maybe 4 or 5 years ago, like, I just don't understand why he would let this happen. You know, like, what? That's something that I've always toggled with. Why would God like just let this happen? Or why can't we find a stable medication that makes her at least half of the personality that she used to be? And it's like, you know, the way this person said it was he allowed that to happen. Like, he allowed her to get sick, but it doesn't necessarily mean that was, what was it? Allowed it, but he didn't directly cause it, you know? And I'm like, oh, I guess. And I think that's like a big thing with the free will and the sinning and all of these things. And come to find out later on, you know, my dad's like, yeah, I think things could have been a lot different if we weren't trying so many medications at the same time, you know? So it's like, hey, maybe we could have been a little more careful on some things and waited it out on a couple other medications before she essentially cracked. You know what I mean? And it just, that was just like one of the things when you were kind of talking about that. I'm like, yeah, you know, I've had that thing where it's like, why God, why this, you know? And I just kind of wanted to bring my 2 cents in, but
that was a nickel's worth.
Yeah, a nickel.
As a listener, I've found that Nick and Michael have a similar approach to how the podcast goes.
Yeah.
And also just the strong belief.
Yeah.
Right? And that's good because now he's the new Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
He tends to keep us a little more focused.
Well, you know, Michael always says that he wants to build something up, and then pass it on to somebody who can carry it.
We pass it on to
because
you.
they can't carry it all, and so that, you know, that's great. You know, that's a token to me, and I appreciate that. And I just want to be clear, like this is not a therapy session.
We had no idea what we were going to get into.
I'm just saying that's not my approach here in listening to you, is this therapy session. Because if you really want to get down to my beliefs on the whole thing, then I'll just be very blunt and honest to be like, you have to understand that this, at the end of the day, this is a battle between you and Satan. That's it. And we're all in this battle, and we're all going to choose a side. And if you're that strong a belief, you realize that, yep, he's going to keep coming. Just when you think like he's done enough, just even when you tell him, like, bring it on. Like, there's nothing more you can do to me. Guess what? He'll find something. So you're going to be tested. It's not, you know, you're going to be tested every single day. And you have to make that decision in your life. Okay, where am I going to end up in the end? What side am I going to be on? Because to me, that is the whole answer to everything. To me, it's the only thing that makes any true sense to me, because the world itself makes absolutely no sense. If you want to try to make sense of this world, well, good luck. You're never going to do it. But to me, that's what makes sense, is because when I read the word, I believe it. I believe what God says. I believe what Jesus says. Even if I can't follow it 100% because I'm not perfect, because I come from the sin of this world, you know, I came, even Jesus himself, you look at his lineage, came from sinful people. King David. I can relate a lot to King David's life, but he made a lot of mistakes, but that didn't mean he still didn't have true purpose in God's kingdom. And that's where Jesus comes from. And we all come from that same lineage. If we all look back, we'll probably all find that we've got we might have a serial murder in our family tree. We might have you just never know what you're going to find, but you're going to find things that aren't so pleasant, and it's just the way it is. So we're born out of this sin, and Satan knows that. So from the time we're born, again, Jesus loves us so much, and that's why Satan hates us. And until you realize that and go, oh yeah, well then that kind of makes sense. That makes sense of everything. And yeah, there are going to be casualties in this world. It's just the way it is. But at the end of the day, though, none of us are casualties if we're following the Lord. It doesn't matter what happens to us, where it happens to us. If we're 300 miles away from home when it happens to us, it does not matter, because if you're following the Lord, that's where you're going to be. Or you're going to be on the other side of it. And there's a lot of people thinking right now that I'm a very good person. I've always tried to do the right thing. I've always treated people nice. I've always been kind to each other. But that's not the point. I'm sorry, but it just isn't. Because when you realize kindness comes from Jesus Christ, it doesn't come from any other source. So if your intent and why you're being kind isn't because you're following Jesus Christ, well, it's a good thing. It's great. But in the end, it's not going to mean anything. It's because in the end, you have to decide where we're all going to end up. Because in the end, there is going to be, as the Bible tells in Revelation, it's all going to come to a head. And you're going to be here or you're going to be over there. There's no gray area. Now, when you say that, it says it doesn't mean like, yep, you're 100% never sinned in your life. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. Because until the last day you live, if it's true in your heart, just as the thief was on the cross beside him, you're going to have that opportunity to go to him if it's true in your heart. Doesn't matter what you've done. But if you don't do that, as we talked, it doesn't matter how much wealth you've piled up. Doesn't matter how many good deeds you've done. You're still not going to have the crowns of life if that true purpose wasn't because you did it for the kingdom. You just did it for yourself, or you did it, because you wanted to. Yeah, those things are nice, but it's not going to mean anything. That's just the way it is. So again, it's not a therapy session. Like I can't sit here and tell you, I don't care what you've been through. You need to forget it. No. That's not what we're saying, and that's not, that doesn't build a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's that you have been through all these things.
Yeah.
And you're honest with the things that you have been through, or the pain you've inflicted, even if it was because you were told to do it, because it was your duty to do it. You still have to lay those things at his feet and give them to him, and just say, "Yep, I've lived with it long enough." And it's time. Like he's carried everything. The moment he was crucified, he took it all. That's hard to fathom. Yeah. That in those moments he took on every single sin that every single person on this earth will commit for all time. Whether it was done out of duty, whether it was done out of good intention, or the worst intentions, even the godless people, he took it on. And that has to be your approach. There's no gray area with that. But you can. It takes a lot of work though, and your work is never going to be done. That's the thing. You think, well, yeah, now I'm a Christian. I'm in the front seat of this big church with 3,000 people. My work isn't done. I got the big hat on, the big bow. Everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, we would look at you if you had a big hat and a big bow in it.
It's just,
what are you wearing?
Yeah, your work is...
You're in your pink chiffon skirt?
Oh.
Which church are you going to?
Hey, where? Yeah.
Pink chiffon. That's good, Dad.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hey, I'm not a fashionista.
So I'm going to switch gears.
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
As being a nurse for 38 years, do you feel that our government provides you and other veterans with the care that they truly need?
That's funny because I was just on the phone with the VA today. No, but it is getting better. It's slow, and the process is extremely difficult to navigate if you don't understand what's available to you.
That's what I was about to say, because your wife does she still work for the VA?
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of already know what services and what you can and can't.
Yes, I had that advantage, but when I was getting ready to retire, they make you go to all these classes. They make you go to financial management. You go to a resume writing class, because we don't know how to write a resume. We've done the same thing for 20 years.
Yeah.
We don't know how to put that on paper so it makes sense to an employer. So they give you a class and all these other things, and the guy comes in and talks maybe 15 minutes about the VA. He doesn't tell you what's available to you, nothing. He just says, hey, you have VA benefits. If you make a certain amount of money from retirement, then you don't have to, how would he put it? It's like you don't have to worry because you're always going to have health care, which is true. However, the health care is questionable at best some days.
Yeah.
And it's
Shouldn't be that way.
No.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. As much as Donald Trump is Donald Trump, he has made improvements for veterans. For example, in his first term, all veterans, he forgave all their student loans, which was great for me. Mm-hmm. Not so much for people who, haven't served. And it doesn't matter how long you serve, if you serve a day or 30 years, the benefits are the same. Is that fair? Possibly not. Simply because, especially now, there are soldiers, sailors, airmen in basic training that are going to get hurt because this generation is weak. All they do is watch YouTube, play video games, whatever. So you get kids showing up to basic training. Either they don't understand what the military is about, or they just thought it was a good idea.
They're not even physically fit in their own world.
Nope, not at all. It's like they just came off of mom's couch and showed up.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why did I hurt myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go to a place called outside. That's where it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
The only reason he knows a lot about this is he works on base.
Okay.
And
The reason I did home health for 21 years, so I see the benefits that the people that have worked all those years and get Medicare, and the people that work don't contribute. Not saying everybody's like that, but don't contribute, and they get on the Medicaid system. Mm-hmm. Their health care is all paid for. Mm-hmm. But yet you've got little old ladies and little old men that are making choices of buy medicine this month or food. And I currently have an uncle that's 91 that was front row Korea in battle, has Alzheimer's now. Probably not really Alzheimer's, probably just age-related dementia.
Yeah.
He gets 3 hours a week of a home health aide.
Whereas someone else would get 40 to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or live in possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, and whether it's because my aunt is elderly and she doesn't know to push, to get the assistance, I don't know, but it's like, it's disgusting sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the worst part about just the VA healthcare system itself is those generations before me, Vietnam, Korea, World War II, they didn't have these resources. So, they would come home, what they call it, shell shock. Mm-hmm. They changed it to PTSD during Vietnam. Same thing. But they didn't have, like I said, they didn't have the resources that we have today, right? Which is it's really unfair to them. Mm-hmm. I have a friend whose dad was in Vietnam. Every night he still listens to Vietnamese radio. He can't go to sleep if he doesn't listen to it.
Wow.
And that was 40 years ago, 50 years ago, forever ago. He can't. I mean, I understand the reason why. His wife doesn't understand the reason why, right? And she's a good lady. She's a nurse and all those things, but she just can't wrap her head around why every night that's what he has to hear. I don't know if he understands anything that's being said or not, but I think it's just the noise from it that helps him go to sleep and just kind of relaxes him a little bit. Because that's what you would get, like at the end of the day, you only get whatever the local radio or TV is. It was the same for us when we were in Iraq. All we got was like Al Jazeera TV. I was unlucky enough to be there at the time when they were beheading all the contractors. And they posted this on TV. They showed the whole thing. And the worst part about that was, if you've ever heard an animal get slaughtered, that's what it sounds like.
Wow. And that's the sound you'll never get out of your head.
Oh, Lord, no. That's why I don't hunt anymore.
Yeah. To piggyback on that, when my grandpa, he was diagnosed with brain cancer last May, and then had home health in and everything. And he had a knee surgery. Long story short, couldn't figure out why he wasn't, healing. And so they start doing all these scans, figuring out, hey, yeah, we have brain cancer. So they're setting him up with home health to go home, and he's wheelchair bound. And you can only, I think it was like 15 hours of home health. And my stepmom, with the strong personality she has, she's like, what about his VA? Like, they weren't even going to cover it, like they weren't even going to ask if he was a veteran. And then they go, oh, wait, he's a veteran? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to contact them. It was like, it wasn't even offered. Like, they didn't even ask. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like baffling. Yeah. So, like, if Cindy wasn't there and would have, have said that, like, they probably, my grandma had too much she was thinking about. She wouldn't have thought to say anything.
Yeah.
Like,
but they'll ask you when you go to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
You're a veteran.
Yeah.
And that's not everywhere. They don't do that everywhere.
Right.
I mean, that's what I love about Texas. Texas is a military-friendly state. Mm-hmm. When we came back and we flew into Dallas, because I was at Fort Hood, we flew into Dallas. The fire trucks sit on the runway, and as you land, there's a huge flag, and they spray the plane with water. Right. For whatever reason. I don't know the reason behind that. That's just weird. But they do that. And on the plane, as soon as we, hit American soil, everybody claps. Everybody. Hooting and hollering. The flight crew, they're cool. And then when you walk into the airport in Dallas, you get the same thing. Like, it's crazy how much it's changed from Vietnam when they came home to when we come home now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is good. I mean,
any more questions?
One more. What made you decide to go into the Army instead of re-enlisting in the Air Force?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times it's the other way around. Like, people flip from Army to Air Force. I don't know.
When I decided I wanted to go back into the military, I went to the Air Force recruiter first, and at that time, they weren't taking any prior service. So if you were from a different branch, you were just kind of out of luck. I was like, well, I just walked across the hall then. And the guy's like, yeah, this is what I can get you. I'm like, okay, when can I leave?
Huh. That's neat.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I'm glad I had the experience, but I wouldn't want anybody else to have it, because it's, but this generation coming up, the world's going to smack them in the face, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. That's the thing I've worried. That's what I've thought about in just the past few hours.
Yeah.
With what's happening with Charlie Kirk. And I see a reckoning in this country that these young people are not going to be ready for. I think there's been so many flashpoints already. With this now happening, I see more to come. And I just don't think young people can quite even understand it. I don't even think they understand the levity of it all.
Oh.
They're just so in their own
They're too
world.
Consumed. Yeah.
I try to think, because my stepdaughter, she don't understand it, and she's a freshman in high school, and I think back when I was a freshman, I think I at least had pretty good understanding, you know, of things, but they just don't see the world around them at all. And it's a scary thing to think about right now.
And, you know, a lot of people always say, oh, these young kids, you know, but not about certain, you know, not about wartime. Like, this is not, you know, a conversation that others were having 20 years ago about the upcoming
the thing
generation.
that concerns me,
I truly don't think that.
Is I think it has developed in them even a lack of empathy. That when something bad happens, it doesn't even affect their heart at all. They don't even react to it. It's like, oh yeah, well, oh well. It's like,
if it doesn't concern them, they're not interested.
So
in it.
there's no empathy for what's going on around them, and it's just that's what's scary. Is that, you know, and they're going, and let's face it, yes, it's a sad thing, but the young always have to carry the burden of these terrible things that happen. And I just don't think they're going to be prepared to do that. And I pray that nothing happens. You know, I pray that nothing happens out of all this. But again, you know, we don't know. But I just see a lot of young people that are just too, you know, social media and cell phones and all that have just made young people just so cornered and just so blindsided to everything that, you know, especially with like AI. I mean, they'll watch stuff on AI and I'm like, I know that's not real.
Yeah. But do they?
Like, you know,
no.
Like I saw a few, like, I've been seeing these videos. I'm a Beatles fan, so I see these videos of like John Lennon and this stuff. And I'm like, I know that's not him because I've seen all the real footage.
Right.
But now they've taken that footage and they've tainted it to where he's doing this or doing that. And I'm like, I know that's not real. But do they?
Yeah.
And that's just,
they don't pay
whether you want to say that the Beatles are important or not, that's not, but there will be things that are important.
Right. Yeah.
That will affect how they think. And they're going to think it's real. And it's not. And then at the same time, when serious things happen, they're so distracted by the unreal.
Yeah.
That they don't even understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So how are they going to make good decisions when you don't even understand the world around you?
It's true.
So I want to circle back to something that you had said earlier, which I thought about and I didn't think about at the time. When you talked about the majority and the minority, I think the reason that religious individuals, no matter what your faith, I think that the reason young people don't go to church or read the Bible or whatever it is that their parents teach them is I think it's become so watered down that nobody really understands what's being said.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
it's because it's being
like Beth was saying, you know,
that's what I was about to say.
They change
water
everything and they water it down to make it nice and so it's appealing to everyone. And so they, you know, we got to get you in here, you know, and they don't want to hear the truth, hell and brimstone.
Well, let me use my history again. If we take a young child in the 19th century, Civil War times, what are the most important things to that child?
Food, shelter, water,
you know, yeah.
Food,
family, God. There's no other distractions. Like that child, most likely, whether it's he's in a big city going to, you know, a big church like in Philadelphia, New York, or if he's from this small rural town in Virginia, most likely he's going to church at least twice a week. Most likely, guess what? A lot of families can't afford actual books. The only book they have
is the Bible.
So what are you doing at nighttime when the sun goes down? Most likely the family's gathering around to read the Bible. So they hear it every single day. They live it. They're close with their family. They work with their family. That's the reason most people are having children at that point in time, is to help with the farm, to help survive. You want to have these children because, they get enough of age, they could go fetch water.
Right.
You know, they can help hunt. They could bring in the food. So everything is centered around that family unit, and it's all centered around God. And if you look at our society as it keeps growing, that focus from God keeps getting farther and farther away because there's so many distractions. And let's face it, if you pull out the Bible and want a child to read it, not going to happen. It's boring. In their mind, it's boring because distractions have gotten just... I mean, I just think about when I was a kid. Like, we had the Nintendo. When Nintendo came out, we just thought that was the end of all being. And it certainly was another step in that direction. But even then, it was like, okay, you had, number one, you had to get permission. You had one TV in the family, so you had to get permission to get time to be in front of it. And then you had to plug it in, you had to push power, you had to sit down in front of it, and you had to play it.
Yeah.
And eventually, your parents are going to say, out.
Right.
Go outside. You know, so you would get a little time with that, but you still had to go back to reality. But now these kids don't ever have to leave the game. And they're all connected. They don't see their friends
That's
in
what I was
person.
about to say. They don't have to go
They don't have friends in person.
on their bike down the street
No.
to meet their friend. They're just...
The only person that has the game console, no.
Yeah.
Now they all got it on their phones, and it's all they do no matter where they go. Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like 10 people watching.
We have an audience, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you do?
Hit the window.
Acted like a dead bird hitting the window.
I didn't even see him.
So that's been the big change is you had this small family unit who focused on God, who, you know, again, that was the whole center. But now that's not the center of our lives. It's just not. And you can say that for most adults too.
The phone.
Yeah.
is.
The phone is the center of your lives. And everything that goes on, you know everything that's going on in the outside world up to the second that it happens. But you have no idea where God is, what he's asking of you, what he wants you to do. You have no clue because you have spent no time with him whatsoever because you are so distracted with the world that we live in. And that's the problem. And again, that's spiritual warfare. Satan is like, he's loving it.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot of people exactly where he wants them and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Now, my generation, your generation, I think everybody sitting in this room, we still have enough of the old world, the old ways, that we still got something to cling to. No matter if we get wrapped up in our phone for 3 hours,
Yeah.
we're probably still going to say, you know what, I've been on that a little too much today.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it away for the day.
Right.
Like I try to do no cell phone Sundays as
Yeah.
much as I can. But sometimes I falter in that.
Yep.
But at least we'll do that.
Yeah.
But if you take this away from a 14-year-old right now, their whole world has crumbled.
You might as well cut their arm off.
And that's like what you're saying. If they have to go, if World War III occurs and they have to go to war and they can't have this in their hand, I don't know. I don't understand how they're going to survive without it.
Yeah, they'll learn quick.
You know?
So I was gonna say they're gonna
maybe
have to
they
learn.
will, and maybe they will. And sometimes I think, is that what it's going to take? Is something so terrible that brings people back to reality of we don't need this 24/7 because something is going to make us snap back and say, okay, you know, what we've been doing is, you know, is not good for our society. But you know, that to me is the reason for that minority. It's just, it is no longer, it's not a family thing. It's not something people center their lives around anymore. It's something, if you've got the time, if you've got the extra time.
And let's face it, no one has the extra time
No.
because there's Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
And like you said,
Football,
most people work
you know.
6 days a week and they just want that extra day. I mean, yeah, the way that society is
Well, let's
made
just
anymore.
talk football. It used to be just Sundays. And yeah, college football Saturdays. But now you got a Monday game, you got a Thursday game, you got a Friday game, a Saturday game. That man after work or on the weekends, that's all he wants to do. Is watch every game that's on TV.
Yeah, I try not to leave the house on Saturday.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying a football game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like when it just, society is consuming us with just all
Junk.
of this junk that you can't wade through it anymore. Like it's just become a swamp that most people they're smack dab in the middle of it, and they want to be in it, I guess. I mean, they don't, like I said, they don't even know the trap that they're in.
Yeah. They don't know any better.
You're going to turn around and, that 19-year-old kid's going to be 40 years old, and what do you got to show for it?
Yeah.
Hours upon hours of time spent with your cell phone.
I tell you what, you ever watch any of Jeff Dunham?
Yeah.
Have you seen Earl? URL. That's how he spells it. It's a little a guy or a kid, and he's on his phone, and he makes his thumbs work and everything.
Oh, okay.
And you stop and think about, that really, and he talks to him. He's, yeah, I am. And he right back to his phone. Yeah, okay. Right back to his phone. Okay. Right back to his phone. That's society today. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, we went to Applebee's Sunday for lunch. We went with Harry and Lona.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't like Applebee's anyway. I'll tell you that right now.
I did. I was told. But anyway, there's a family sitting, and there's probably 6 adults and one little baby, and everybody was sitting there on their phone.
Nobody talking at all.
Nothing. They just sitting there on their phone. Yeah, okay. Sitting there on their phone.
And the problem is this kind of talk is almost cliche now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
To talk about it in that terms is like, yep, everywhere you go, you see people on their cell phones just sitting there. Well, guess what? Most likely you're probably doing the same thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you don't know where yours is at most of the time.
We all, again, as we said at the beginning of this podcast, is we all see the problem, but we're not going to do anything about it.
Nope.
And it's the same thing with having a relationship with Christ. We all see the problem, but we're not going to do anything about it because it'll just take too much time. It may mean that, we may have
to sacrifice something.
Sacrifice something. Mm-hmm. In some cases, we're not ready to give up that pain that we're carrying for whatever it is, whether it's of a military sort, whether it's a divorce, whether it's a death in the family. I don't know. Whatever it is, you're not ready to give it up.
Everybody wants
you want to carry that pain with you, because I don't know if it makes more sense to us. As you said, like he has to listen to that every night to go to sleep. It's hard to give those things up. But that's the problem. It's like we can't go to Jesus and give it to him. Like I said, how many times you lay down at the foot of the cross, and before you leave, you pick it back up, head out the door. We all do it.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Well, just sitting here thinking, and you brought up that why he listens to the music. Helicopters make me feel safe. Just hearing the helicopters, because we had helicopters.
Yeah.
So if they were flying, bad things were happening. But they weren't happening to us when they were flying.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right. Airplanes, not good. Fireworks, not good. When we first moved to Texas, SeaWorld at 9:00 lights off fireworks. And they have a strip mall close to SeaWorld. The fireworks went off. I almost ran in a building.
And
And
have you been to therapy at all?
Yeah,
Have you done any of that?
Oh, yeah.
How extensive has it gone for you?
I mean, it's gone fine. But going to therapy, and even though talking about it, and my wife and I, talk about all of our experiences, it doesn't really make it any better. I mean, it's still there, right? And yes, it's off of my chest, but at night when I go home and go to sleep or lay down, it's there. I can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like when people say, like losing someone, like you don't like coping with it. Like it doesn't get any better. You just learn to live with it, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the way I looked at that when you explained.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Is I just live with it day to day.
Yeah.
All the whatever else they did to me, and hips hurt and knees hurt.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. So is this more of a physical pain? Is it a fear? Is it a, how do you associate that whole experience that you have every time your head hits the pillow?
I can't stop it. It just happens. As soon as, when I close my eyes, if I don't take my medication, I don't sleep. I can stay up for 36 hours. No problem.
So even if you've had a great night, had fun,
Mm-hmm.
you lay your head on the pillow and your mind immediately goes to all of those experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's, you just deal with it and try not to let it, control your life, because there are some people like that who won't leave their house.
Yeah.
Or a car backfiring. We'll send them diving to the floor. However they react to that. It's just.
Do you give yourself credit for what you've been through?
In what way?
Well, I mean, do you just look at yourself and say, you know what, I've endured a lot of, things that, say, a normal person would not have to endure.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever look at it that way? Yeah, I can hold my head up high and say, yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm trying to carry it the best that I can. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just asking that as.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I'm proud of what I did. I mean,
so it's from those.
Have I
regret?
No.
Okay.
It's more of a. I'm proud of it, but I don't try to put it out there to everybody I see and talk about, hey, I did this. What have you done in your life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't try to do that, because we want people to know, but we don't like it when they ask questions.
Yeah.
Right. So this format's a little different because he's here.
Gotcha.
If he wasn't here, this would be more difficult for me because we've already had this conversation.
Okay. Okay.
Probably a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it gets easier, as the years go on, but it's still not an enjoyable experience sometimes. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, we're proud. And one thing we figured out, going through this, just military people in general, is we were a part of living history. We tried to affect change in our lifetime. And there are a lot of people who are in positions to make change that don't, because the answer is always, well, that's always the way we've done it. I'm not 5. Give me a reason.
Yeah.
We never got a reason, right? Other than, George Bush was weapons of mass destruction. Big fat lie.
Yeah.
Was nothing. He just needed an excuse.
Yeah. And every order in the military is because I said so.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
mostly, but still, I'm not 5. You're doing it because I told you to. No.
Yeah.
Give me, I'll paint your rocks all day.
Yeah.
Tell me why I'm painting your rocks.
Right.
Now, if you want to look pretty because there's a distinguished visitor, colonel, general, somebody like that coming, and they want to make it pretty, okay, that I can understand. That doesn't mean I like painting rocks.
Right.
Because when they dry, we got to flip them over and paint the other side. It's just, I think if senior leaders would give more information, it won't be as difficult for people to deal with after they, have an experience of some sort.
Yeah.
But, just go here. Roger.
Do you think they do that because of the civilian? Because I know you guys knew a little bit more, not much more than us, but I think even when Cole was, before he went to Kuwait, they were talking about possibly having him go to Korea, I think, and he had a little bit of insight, but not much. But even that insight, like, he couldn't tell us. You know what I mean? Do you think, like, them not sharing with you guys is because of the civilians? But I don't even think that, though, because I think they could trust you guys to keep your word, if that makes sense.
Are you talking about American civilians or civilians wherever?
I guess American civilians.
Oh yeah, regular people really had no idea of what we were doing.
Yeah,
because we were doing all kind of not shady stuff, but we were doing a lot of dark ops kind of things. You know, trying to chase all Osama bin Laden and all his henchmen. And no, that's not stuff you've heard of. For example, in 2005, when Hurricane Katrina hit and they had a massive earthquake in Pakistan, I have a piece of paper with my name on it that said I got this award or this medal for Hurricane Katrina. I never stepped a foot in Louisiana. And American NATO aid to Pakistan at that time was a cover for the SEALs to go capture a guy. But with all the other devastation and all the busy, we're here, it went unnoticed.
Yeah. You guys are doing demonstrations while you know the real plan is being carried out. So
Yeah,
looks in that direction.
Yes, we're there. We're there on the premise of we're here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diversionary action.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I'll never say that senior leaders were wrong. I think that from the president on down to the Department of Defense, there was something lost in translation from the Department of Defense to those people that had to actually serve on the line. Because we would just ride around in trucks, you know, and hope you don't run over a bomb.
Yeah.
Like, that's no way to live. That's craziness.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. What's the matter, Beth? You okay?
I'm fine.
Well, I mean, in
Rouse
most
my
things that
bones.
I've studied in military history, hardly anything ever goes according to plan.
Correct.
Yeah.
It could be the most genius plan on paper, but it never goes the way it's supposed to.
I don't know how your poor mother slept.
I don't
You were
either.
over there.
I mean, you're the only one with insight on that one.
Prayed every night. Hard.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that puts a whole new twist on how strong is your faith. You know,
Yeah.
Not only from the battlefield point of it, but from those people whose kids, husbands, whatever. You know, it's tough.
Yeah.
And then you have to come back and try to assimilate into life, right? Because while you're gone, your wife's taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, doing all of those everyday things that you would normally do if you were there. And when you come back and you try to fit in,
She's already got
it's hard.
rhythm.
Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
because you have to try and get some sort of normality after the chaos. And it's some people, like I said, some people deal with it better than others. Like luckily my wife has had that same experience. So for us to deal with it, we have each other, where a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
To clarify that she was in the military also. That was the reason she has the same experiences he
That's what I wondered.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I thought it was implied.
well,
I got it.
I'm old. I have to be told.
I don't think it was told. I think you were the
No,
VA.
yeah, it wasn't told.
But I was piecing together that because I think earlier on.
But
you had
just
said
because she
something.
works at the VA doesn't mean that she
Right.
has experiences.
Right. No. I was just saying we said that she worked at the VA, but we didn't go on and say
Yes,
that
she was active duty.
she was active duty too. Yeah.
Maybe that's the way I should have addressed it.
Yeah, but the best part about her being active duty as well as the same time as me, I didn't have to share a room with another guy. We got to stay. We got to stay together. You know, so that was That's really the only advantage that we had.
And I think last week I was saying, trying to. I think it was on here. You can talk to Margie all you want about shop talk, but at the end of the day, she's not 100% going to understand. And it's like, you guys did almost 100% understand. I think that's, even, no one really can get that anymore because most people don't work the same job and, be able to talk about their stresses about work and have the other one 100% agree. Like I'm sure that was nice at the time, just to be able to bond just simply over that, even knowing someone is in the same shoes and dealing with the same finances, dealing with all the same struggles together.
Yeah, and then if you're married and have kids and you're both active duty, you got to find somebody to watch your kids. Then you get back after a year, your kids are a little skittish and shy, right? Because you haven't been there, right? And if they're babies, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Luckily, ours was old enough to kind of understand, but not really understand.
Yeah.
But now he's gotten older and he starts asking more questions. And then he's, it's like, okay. That's why you had to be gone. Yeah, that's why you had to be gone so long. That's why you did this. That's why these things happened to me.
Yeah.
But all in all, like he's very well-rounded as far as his culture or just everybody's culture because he's gotten to live all these different places, where most people in Ericksville are still here.
Yeah. I had
Exactly.
my mom's good friend from high school. She married someone who was a Navy SEAL and they were in Italy for, 3-4 years, Washington State, New York, Maine, I think Germany, maybe a year. But it's just neat seeing them because they're like 21 and 19 now. And just looking, I think they did end up settling in the Indian Valley District. But just even looking at them compared to others the same age, like you can tell that their dynamic is just more rounded. Yeah.
And you, for the most part, you can see those people who have been in the military just simply how they carry themselves in any situation. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They don't freak out in emergency situations. They don't freak out if they get stressed out.
Yeah.
But it's more you can tell by the way they carry themselves and how they present themselves to other people.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that with you both being in the military, you raised your child a little stricter than?
100%.
I just asked because my daughter's husband, his parents were both in the service, and
He don't be messing around, does he?
nope. My granddaughter, she'll get in the car on Friday night to go. We have a houseboat where she goes to. She said, "Papa, did you bring my iPad?" He said, "Yeah." Why? She said, "Lost the TV again." Say, "Well, why'd you lose your TV?" "I told Mommy supper wasn't any good. I had to sit there and eat it."
Yep.
And she's 6. So.
Yeah.
But they keep her in line, and she has no electronics at home besides the TV. So
Yeah.
I have to remind her, that's Grandma's iPad. That's Grandma's
Yes,
iPad.
yes.
When you go home, that's Grandma's iPad.
Yeah.
Did we discuss your official rank? Did you?
No.
So what was it?
Staff Sergeant, E6.
Okay.
So with that, then you get obviously a little bit more responsibility and
So you had to
those
lead
things.
as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And not everybody's a good leader. I hope I tried to do my best. I hope that everybody that I had contact with or was their supervisor or whatever took something from me that, they can apply to their life, right? Because that's what I did. Like, I had good leaders and I had bad leaders. So I just kind of picked those things from those people, to help shape my leadership abilities.
Yeah.
And then they send you to like leadership school, but it's just a big party is all it is.
Right.
You sit in class for 8 hours a day. You're not at your home station. You're somewhere new. All these people you don't know. So you go to the bar or whatever, and then you bond over that, right? Because not everybody at that time was a drinker, So they would still come, then they would drive. But they would still come just to hang out so you get to know these people because you're spending 3 months with these people, from everywhere. And it's just, and talking to them and sharing everybody's experience. This was before the war. Sharing everybody's experiences just on what they've done throughout their military career. Some people did a whole lot more than I did. Some people did a whole lot less. It just depended on where you were at that time in your career. So I think the best assignment I had was Germany. I love Germany. It was so much fun. There's so much to do.
They had good food.
Yeah, I gained 30 pounds in 3 years.
That was pretty good average, 10 pounds a year. That was not bad. At least you didn't gain it all at once.
Being fat in the Army is not a thing. I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing now. It wasn't a thing then. And the military is conforming to society instead of society. Those kids coming in conforming to the military rules and regulations. Like, we're assimilating to society. For example, females could never have their hair down, right? Unless it was short. You had to be in a bun. You had to be able to wear your hat. It had to not look crazy. But now they can have ponytails as long as they are a certain length. There are people who have their hair done a certain way. Half of them can't even wear their hat because it look,
Yeah.
And you look crazy. Like they're sloppy.
Yeah.
Like it bothers me. It bothers me. I don't even like going to the store on post because it's just.
I don't like going to McDonald's because sometimes you don't know who's working behind the counter and who's not. Like, are you working or not? There's no uniforms.
Yeah.
Nothing. So, yeah. That's another argument is we get farther and farther away from structure and from
because people are desperate
discipline.
for work anymore, and they just start bending for people.
Employees start making the rules about how they're going to dress and how they're going to present themselves, and it's just we're getting so far away from that discipline and structure that. Again, I think it's another thing that makes it difficult for people to come to Christ is because it's all about discipline. I mean, a lot of your life, you have to change. You have to give up a lot of those things and learn to have self-control. And we're just getting farther and farther away from that in every aspect of our lives. It's just everybody can go to work in sweatpants. It's like,
Listen,
it's not good.
When I graduated from nursing school, you wore white hose, white shoes, and a crisp white dress and your hat.
Yeah.
People, they're on
clean
that
every day,
floor,
right? Yeah.
Yep. On the floor now, you can't tell a nurse from, a visitor.
Yeah.
You're half afraid to go up and be like, can you help me? Because you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you went to nursing school when, like 1940? No.
You're 87. But we still had to. I had Mrs. LaBelle, military nurse. Better your uniform better crisp when you walked. And those corners better been tight when you made that bed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I always thought she looked at like Mrs. Beaver on Leave It to Beaver or whatever that show was. Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, she was June.
Yep, that hair perfect. And she just
Right, and she spoke when she spoke to you, it was firm and stern.
Oh, definitely.
and if you did something wrong, it was still stern and firm. It was just louder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was 5,
But
4 or
you
5.
learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
I was 4 or 5, and I would get this bad bronchitis every year, and I had to be hospitalized. And back then, they put you under this tent. Yes, and I hated that tent. I mean, my parents leave, I'd cry, but I still remember the nurse. I still remember how she looks. And I remember her name, Nurse Berger, and yeah, she was tough, even to me. But I just remember her still talking to my parents, and just she was a tough customer. But I came out all right, She got her job done. That's the most important thing. So they leave an impression. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Only the good ones. Sometimes the bad ones.
Yeah.
Like if they're really bad.
Yeah.
I've had a few of those. And as I've gotten older and my career progressed, I'm like, you were just not smart.
Oh yeah.
We
all have that.
That's what I was about to say. We all have that.
Sometimes you're looking at your people above you, and you're like, where are you coming from? Like, do you even know what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like having a postmaster that has never delivered mail and trying to structure.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you how you do your route. Huh?
Yeah. I'm like, well,
Yep.
you don't even.
Oh, did you get to drive the car that's on the wrong side of the road?
Well, I no longer deliver mail. I quit last year when part-time wasn't part-time. I wanted to be home with my son a little bit. But yes, I did, but I also straddled. So I would just drive I had a CRV, I had a Caravan. My dad made like a bench to go into the middle. Like he took the console out. And so I would sit in the middle, use my left foot, and then deliver. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah. But it was a lot more convenient with the right-handed vehicle, like the right-hand drive. I did like the rural routes. So it was half of them were like the box cars, and then the other half were the more country routes, and you needed like 4-wheel drive. So they required your own vehicle. So it was fun though. I did really enjoy it. Yeah.
But there again, where did the post office ever come to the idea that you have to tear up your own vehicle?
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, you get paid for it. It was like vehicle or equipment EMA. Do you know? It's government, like equipment maintenance allowance is what it's considered.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but they reevaluate it every January and July, like based on how the economy is. So you would get paid like for the gas and the maintenance of the vehicle, but you would have to like replace your own brakes, any struts, anything new that you needed, any tires, gas, like it was all included in that EMA.
Yeah,
So it was like an extra stipend that you got on.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, riders on the Pony Express had to supply their own mount.
Right, Roger?
Feed. I'm
Yeah,
positive.
yeah.
Right.
See how they treat me?
That would be funny if Mom was here. That'd be funnier. 'Cause, she said something the other day. She's like, oh, I'm old or this, that. And I said, you're older than Methuselah. She didn't think that was funny.
She didn't think I was funny?
No, I thought it was hilarious.
She don't have a sense of humor sometimes.
Yeah.
We won't tell her you said that.
I don't care. Tell her.
You're like, do it.
Yeah.
You don't get
Through the
picked on
boat.
quite as much since Michael's not here.
No, I know.
Yeah, we spare you most of the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But Beth, every time she gets a chance, she'll jump right in there. So
Oh, I do not.
me too.
Every now and then.
And we ignore Nick's text messages.
Yeah. Uh huh. I'm like, is anybody even paying attention here?
Are they as
My
long
phone
as when he
working?
talks?
It was just like this past week. He was throwing us some topic ideas, and
Crickets, nothing.
Well,
I think it was like 36 hours later. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm
Hello?
genuinely concerned if my phone's even working. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that one text was pretty long. I can't.
why
yeah,
don't-
I have the excuse of like a little toddler running around
Yeah,
being a heathen. I don't know what their excuses were.
Yeah.
I think I was Amazon shopping on my phone, and
Oh man.
Well, I don't think we hit any of your topics that you threw out there.
No, and I didn't plan to today. Once he
Yeah.
said that you were coming on, I was like, okay,
Yep.
we're going.
Well, I thought it'd be kind of
I
cool to
figured
have
you guys kind of had an idea of,
somebody that listened,
yeah.
Yeah.
and
But
throw
this,
some
but
stuff out there.
this is just one of those topics that we would never had the opportunity to get
Exactly.
Yeah.
into. You know, and it's a very important topic. It's a very tough topic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have easy answers, but it's definitely something. As I always say, the only reason I want to do this podcast is because it's useful for somebody, because it helps somebody. If I'm not doing that, I don't want to be doing it. I'd rather
Right.
be doing something else.
To be
I
honest,
don't do this for my own enjoyment. I enjoy it, but
Yeah.
that's not my purpose.
I would see these numbers of people listening. I'm like, no one's listening. Hey, I know we have at least
Yeah.
one listener.
You know, we can pick topics every week, and but this is real. I mean,
Yeah.
this is coming from somebody who's has experienced the military life, that is has done his service, and it's an extraordinary thing, and you don't get to talk to people like this every day to see what it's. We all
Yeah.
think we know what it's like, but until you actually talk to somebody, it's very fulfilling to talk to somebody like that. That it does give you a greater understanding of
And
what some people actually do sacrifice for this
Yeah.
country.
yeah, and like he said, he probably wouldn't have even gone
no.
as deep as he did had Roger not
Right.
even been here.
But that's
so
okay.
it's
Yeah.
nice that
Everything
we were even able to have
everything
that.
has to fit together and
Mm-hmm.
come together for a reason, and I think you were here for a reason.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I hope that you did get something from it, that it will help you in that next step, in your journey for your faith. That you can take something from this and go, you know what, I can build on that. That's something I can move forward with. Because I've learned something. That's the other great
Yeah.
thing. It's like, I've learned something, that's for sure. And I can take that on my faith journey too, and be like, you know what, maybe I think I understood that, but perhaps I need to look a little further.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. I think we all need to understand each other's paths in life, and we need to be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because again, that's why a lot of things don't get resolved, because nobody talks about anything.
Oh.
Nobody's willing to sit down, talk, help each other out.
Yep.
Grow
together.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Just-
exactly.
Hey.
Oh, snap!
You got a button on there.
Yeah, I don't know which button it is.
Okay, don't push anything.
Yeah, don't push
I
it.
need to make little pictures of.
Yeah, there
I
you
need
go.
a little symbol for someone.
Little emojis, and then you know
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's scary just to be like, yeah, come on the show. We have no
Yeah.
idea we have no idea. But I think that's the great part about it. It's like,
Yeah.
it is a little scary, and because it's going to get real, and that's what we should be doing. We can pick a topic of the Bible every week, and
Yeah, but we talk about real stuff, though.
we do.
I mean, and nothing's
but
really
but we can have a good time,
fantasized.
and sometimes you don't realize the levity of what you're talking about until you can have somebody like him come on and actually,
Yeah.
like I said, it gets real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're not just talking about it. Now we're actually, listening to his experiences, and we have to consider things that perhaps we haven't considered before. And hopefully that's the same thing for the listener.
Yeah.
Is that I don't care if 5 people catch this podcast tomorrow. I guarantee all 5 of those people are going to come out of it with a better understanding of if it's just the military or what we discussed, spiritually. I think it all helps us, like you
Oh,
said,
yeah.
but I
helps
think
us
it's
continue to grow.
definitely eye-opening for me, because I was an American, and you watch the news clips and you watch this and that, and you're like, yeah, you're.
Mm-hmm.
But we never once think about
Yeah.
the true reality
Right.
of what our soldiers are going through.
Yeah.
What our
we
boys
can-
are going through.
And when the sacrifices that they're willing to give, just so
Yep.
we can sit here and watch this
Yeah.
TV.
Mm-hmm.
We can hit the button and
Turn it off
go
and
to
we
bed.
go to bed.
We
at
don't
night.
think
Yeah.
anymore about it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was another thing that was kind of aggravating for us as we were there, and everybody, like Beth said, everybody was like, "Yeah, rah rah rah," you know.
Didn't feel that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
You know, meanwhile, I'm wearing 900 pounds of gear, trying to not get blown up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we never know that. You know, I mean, we don't think about that. And unless you have military background, you really just don't know it. Men might, I don't know. As a woman, I didn't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only soldiers I've ever heard talk about it like that are the ones that have just started out and haven't experienced anything yet.
Yeah.
You know, but the changes, you know,
I mean,
more
I work-
experience they have, it's not quite so.
I worked with a nurse that
Oh.
her husband was, I don't know what he was in the military. He'd be home for a while and she'd be at work and all of a sudden he'd be gone. And he might have been gone for a week before she knew where he really was. He'd be gone for 3 or 4 months and then he'd come
Or
home.
if she even knew where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, you know, don't know how she lived,
Yeah.
you know. I don't know what branch he was ever in, but it was always top secret what he did.
I mean, you figure out how to navigate that. It's like when you come home, like I was saying before, as the person coming back into the lives of these people, you have to figure out how to deal with them. They don't figure out how to deal with you because it'll mess up their routine. You have to figure out where do you fit in this puzzle anymore, and it changes every time. You know, as kids get older, or you get different jobs, or you move somewhere else. You know, it's never the same. And that's frustrating as well, because we just want to come home and be normal.
Yeah.
But our normal is not the normal we left.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent 15 years in the stair wood industry and then moved on to steel, where I've been for almost 6 years. But that it's not anything like what you're talking about. I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's his occupation, but it's not just an occupation.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, the old thing is,
It's a
when you go
lifestyle.
home, you forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, until the next day. But you know, that's not how that operates.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, that's
And my most favorite thing is I like to talk to the old guys.
Yeah.
So the World War II guys, which there aren't many left, the Vietnam guys, the Korea guys, you know, their stories are amazing for me because I've experienced that same thing,
Yeah.
right? They're amazing.
Yeah.
I love them to death.
Yeah.
I could sit and talk to an old guy for hours. Tell me about what you did. Some of it's pretty hairy, but you know, I mean, everybody pretty much has the same type of story, right? The places and, you know, the names are different, but the situation is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the technology is a little different, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but technology really didn't figure into our piece of the puzzle. You know, where I was, the technology is at like a higher headquarters building where they have one room dedicated to nothing but TVs and drones. You know, and then they have another room they're putting pins in a map like they did in, you know, World War II.
Yeah.
You know, and then another one, depending on what your job was or your role, they would set up a sand table, you know, which is,
A big sandbox.
no, that's not, it doesn't have sand in it, right? But if you look back to like World War II, right, where they were drawing in the dirt, it's like that, except it's just not in dirt anymore. It's something that you can see, you know, and you can see with the technology, you can see the 3D stuff. You can see how many stories of a building, you know, you can see, you know, if there's empty space on either side, you can see, is there a big tall building where you might get shot from? You know, all of those things. And that's where the drone piece comes into play too. And it's just, it's interesting, you know. And then the further I got in my career, because I was always like, why do we do this? Why? You know, this is dumb, or this doesn't make sense. But as I got further in my career and learned from different people and worked in certain situations or certain places, you kind of understand, right? Because I worked at it like a brigade, so that'd be, I don't know how, that'd be Michael, right? So Michael lays out all the plans, types up all the orders on what each person's going to do. Then that goes down to your leadership, which comes down to you. Mm-hmm. And at that level, you figure out how things are written and why they're written a certain way. Right? And then that started to make sense to me. And I'm like, man, I've been confused for 30 years. You know, it's just, but you don't ever get that information unless you've worked in, you know, that environment, not just the war piece, just what have you done outside of that? You know, where did you work? What did you do? You know, and I got lucky enough that I could do those things, you know, work in different areas where you see, okay, on a bigger scale, this is where I fit in. So, I mean, it's just not everybody gets to experience that. I was just lucky enough to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you guys say, Dad?
I was going to say that's the reason you said the FBI is going to call.
Well, I mean, technically I'm a felon.
What's that?
I said technically I'm a felon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just because of my rifle is all.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I hope cops don't listen to this.
So if this is taken down tomorrow morning, we know why.
Yeah. CIA has confiscated this little podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I'd be quite proud of that.
Yeah. Why'd you shut down? I got busted.
No.
Well, sir, how do you want to button up this episode? What are your final thoughts on, you know,
being here,
having this experience, everything that we've discussed?
I enjoyed it. When he asked, he's like, "Do you want to be a guest on the GOP?" I said, "I'd love to."
Yeah, there was no hesitation.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all. You know, because like I said, listening to it right now, I can put faces to voices. Mm-hmm. Where before, it's just the only one I understood was his.
Yeah.
Really? 'Cause
You
we
know.
don't understand him at all.
55 years of experience, you kind of learn to decipher, you know, the things here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Or is there any?
I learned a different side of what faith is, or it can be, and not just, you know, being a C&E person. You know.
Yeah.
At least, see, he knows what C&E is.
Yeah, he sure does.
I got a whole college degree. I know lots of stuff.
I was going to ask if there were any takeaways that you would want the listeners to take away from it.
From my experience or the podcast as a whole?
Just whatever we talked about tonight, I guess. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, you know, somebody who's thinking about joining the military hears this, and then they can make a better informed choice of what they want to do. Because it's not
something to take lightly.
No, it's not. And some people be like, oh, you know.
Sounds like fun.
I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Or I want to travel, so this is a good.
That is not how you travel.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to pay for travel.
Sure, but.
And you don't have to pay to move your stuff.
Yeah.
But moving every 3 years, 4 years, it gets kind of like it's a lot.
Yeah, and I've heard people say that, and I'm like, you might need to look into what you're getting into, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm on my third house in 10 years.
Yeah.
That's insane. That normal people don't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Just when you think you're adjusting, and then it's like, hey.
Yeah, let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like them, they've been living out there for, 20 some odd years, right?
Since the Pony Express.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
have you thought about moving?
No, not really.
Yeah. See? Beth, have you thought about moving?
Absolutely not.
My grandparents moved two Octobers ago, but they were in their house for 47 years. The only reason they moved is to find a 1-story ranch that's easier on their legs. That was the only reason.
Yeah.
47 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we've been in this house 15 years. We moved quite a bit, but that's because we'd buy a house, fix it up, sell it, buy a house, fix it up, and sell it.
Yep.
The last one we fixed up, it almost caused a divorce, so
Yeah.
Decided we better keep this one.
we're just going to stay.
That's what my father-in-law keeps telling us we should do is buy, because, we're fixing ours up. But I'm like, yeah, but we're also, we're raising a child. Like, I don't want to be just focused on, it's a great way of income, but I think maybe working on one on the side, making that a rental, not necessarily flipping and adjusting and flipping and adjusting. I don't know if that's, because I have a hard time adjusting.
The last one we sold, we lived in our home that we're in now.
Okay. Yeah.
We sold it before it was finished. It got so ugly. I can't see the finished product in my mind.
Yeah.
And he can, and then we just fight and bicker about it.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
It's not worth all the hassle.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And then the business, his, work started wanting him work 6 days a week, and we would have to pay people to finish it, and it wasn't getting done the way we wanted it. And
Yeah.
it's like, nope, we're done.
Yeah. But I am back to the military thing. I also am of the belief that everyone should do it,
Yeah.
male or female. Right? I don't want to say conscript or draft, but I think everybody should do 2 years just so you understand how you get the things that you get to do
Yeah.
and understand what it takes for you to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And the toll that it takes on the families of those people. Like not only those people who served and come back, but those people who didn't come back.
Yeah.
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 And that's where a lot of military people get hung up, right? When you see your friends die in a horrific way, they get hung up on that. And that's the only thing they see when they come back.
Yeah.
And then if you've been on multiple tours, you still have that, you just have it.
Yeah, you're carrying it.
Like a survivor's guilt. Why?
Yeah.
Why them and not
Yeah,
me?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think everybody should do it. I enjoyed my time, other than those things, but 20 years went fast.
I always hear that.
It like to the point where, the initial intent when I joined the military was, I'm going to go to school, right? I'm 18. I get sent to a place that has no drinking age, right? And you're with people from, all walks of life. So you get caught up in that as well,
Yeah.
because in certain places you can't even leave the base. So that's all you have. That's all you know. And everybody who's there, right, is your family.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to figure out how to deal with their, idiosyncrasies or, their little ticks. and you get people from Wisconsin who you got to try and figure out what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have a good friend who lives in Wisconsin. Love that dude to death, but I don't understand nothing he's talking about. Not one thing.
Mm-hmm. My dad, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me. I don't know. Maybe he would mind me saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. But when he was stationed in Germany, the only thing he knew how to say was, "One more beer, please."
Well,
In German.
In German. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Ein Bier, bitte.
Yep. Yep. He still likes his German beers.
I love my German beer. I don't drink it as often as I used to. So,
Yeah.
but I like a good Guinness every once in a while. German beer's very good. Your dad's a smart individual. I think I could be a friend with that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, plus there's the tourism. You can go to the Czech Republic. You can go to France.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can see all of Germany. If you get on the train, you can, go to Paris. You get on the train, you can go to London.
I just had a friend do that for like 2 weeks in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the places you see. And even just the scenery is beautiful.
Yeah.
Plus all the history that's there.
Yeah.
We had when I went to a leadership school in Germany, the barracks that we were staying in still had Nazi helmets over the doorways. Like the Keystone had a Nazi helmet on it. They had pictures of Elvis when he was there. Like, I mean, it was cool.
Well, yeah.
Just from the historical aspect of it.
Yes.
Michael, it took us almost 2.5 hours, but we finally got Elvis in.
Aren't you proud?
I mean, it was
It's everywhere.
It was very interesting. I had a very good time while I was there. Went to a lot of places.
But we're going to catch heck for this episode being 2.5 hours long because we're never going to hear the end of it. I mean, I never hear the end of how long my sermon was. So, strike two.
Hey, it's all right. We could try to split it up. I don't know.
You could probably make 2 parts out of this if you want.
Yeah, then
Really
it'll
wanted
just
to.
erase fully.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do
Okay.
that.
Yep.
He trained me, but he didn't train me too well on this thing. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
Any final thoughts?
Why is everybody looking at me?
I don't know.
You ain't said nothing the whole day.
I usually don't.
Oh,
Plus, guess what?
No.
Yeah.
I thought you should do the
No. I did 2 weeks ago. Sid did last week. You weren't here.
All right.
Don't look at me with them big sad puppy dog eyes. I'm not going to let you off.
and to be fair, I don't think Roger could do it right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Are we ready?
No.
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 Okay.
I can't remember your first name. I'm going to say Roger's son.
Rick.
Rich. Okay. I was close. I'm going to call him Rick. So.
I mean, I've been called worse.
All right. That's the memory of what you heard from me tonight was that. Oh, dear Heavenly Father, sweet precious Jesus, we just thank you for the time that you have given us here tonight. And thank you for Rich and the words that he has shared with us and opened all of our eyes here as civilians, that hopefully that we will go out and we will pray for our military, because we just don't know what they really go through and the sacrifices that they make for us, dear Father God. And we ask that you just continue to put that hedge of protection around him and his family, dear Father God, as they travel back home, dear Lord. And we just ask that you just be with each and every one of us as we travel to our home tonight, Lord, and that you protect us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hey friends, Pastor Michael again. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you should consider joining us on Sunday mornings. Our address is 1943 North Water Street Extension in Yorksville. We'd love to have you join us for an in-person service.